Welcome back, guys. So today we're doing our paper mache project. We're starting it. So this is part 1. So the first thing you saw me do was mix equal parts of water and glue. Use any liquid glue. Any liquid glue will do. Once thoroughly mixed, I then tested to see whether it is slimy. Once I'm okay with the consistency of the glue, I blow up my balloon, medium sized. I don't want the balloon too big, right? Because the bigger the balloon, the more work we have to do, and we don't need it to be very large. I then took a mug, I couldn't find anything else, and taped it to my balloon. So my balloon would have a brace while I worked on it. So my paper of choice is newspaper. It's fast, easy to get, cheap, and I rip it up into 1.5 inch squares approximately. Some of the pieces were a little too big and I ended up having to go back and rip it even smaller. So I'm going to start applying the glue solution to the balloon and to the paper, and putting the paper bit by bit and creating my first layer on my balloon. You want to make sure that your pieces overlap each other a bit. Remember, there's strength in numbers. This is going to be a very messy process, guys. I don't even know why I didn't prepare my surface properly. Please do not be like Miss. Please make sure that you spread something on mommy's table or on whatever surface you're working on to prevent an ordeal with cleaning up after. So once I have put down a section of my scraps of paper, my bits of paper, I then proceed to use the solution on top to seal in the paper. So the paper is thoroughly soaked. The glue solution is thoroughly soaking through the newspaper. Once we're getting that glue solution to be nicely soaked into our newspaper, it means that we're going to get the best possible outcome with our paper mache being as stiff as possible and as hardy as possible and having more longevity. So I'm continuing this process. It is so messy, and I'm also using my fingers to smooth out any creases or lumps that are developing. So once I'm done the top, I'm going to start approaching the sides. Guys, this is what I'm talking about. The people furniture. Why did I think it was okay to work on the chair just like that? So I got an old book that I found around the art room and used that as my new base and some additional newspaper. So I'm continuing along the sides of the balloon, and I want you to notice how far down I'm going. This would allow for just a small opening to be present at the base of my mask. We want to go as far down to the base as possible. I also reinforced my scotch tape because with the dripping solution of glue, it caused the two masking tape pieces to unstick, and that wasn't cool. So my balloon was flopping all over the place. So again, smoothing. So I'm almost complete. I've almost completed my first layer. And here I have officially completed my first layer. So I'm showing you all. I even covered that little piece of masking tape. So I'm going in for my second layer now. At this point, I had already taken a break about 3 different times to teach different classes, and I had to wash my hands. But what I noticed is that the glue wouldn't come off because of the type of glue I used. So it was very, very difficult. Each time I had to wash my hands, I went and I found some gloves. Yes, gloves. So if you have gloves and you really don't like the feeling of the glue drying on your hands, then go for it. So I'm using my gloves now, and I am continuing to apply about this time. It's maybe my 6th or 7th layer. And I'm going in with it. I want my last layer to be white tissue, so that way I use less white paint when it comes to priming my mask. So notice that I am ensuring that I use my brush in a way that keeps each section flat. Each piece of paper is encouraged to lay flat with the brush, and anything that I find is not really responding to the brush, I use my fingers and I go over it and continue to flatten it so that I have as smooth a surface as possible. So this is probably my 8th layer by now. Yes, my 8th layer. I think I was getting a bit carried away. So my final layer, I used some tissue paper, that you use to dry your hands. So I used that because I wanted it to be white. I wanted the finished product to be white, so that when I go in with my white paint, I don't have to use as much white paint as if I were to paint over the newspaper as it is. So this would save me some material. Once I'm satisfied with how smooth my finished product is, I'm going to set it to dry somewhere safe for a few days, and then we're going to move on to part 2 of this project. That's it for today, guys. So let's get started.